So it is morning. I am having this should say tea, my morning tea. And I'm getting ready to try a method for my foundation that is actually a Wayne Goss method. Maybe it's a method that's been out there, but he is who I learned it from. And I'm actually really excited about this. It's a foundation method that apparently helps your foundation last longer. It's a lot smoother. It's flawless finish, and it's great for even mature skin over 40, over 50. So I'm really, really excited. Now there's a few steps involved, but really there's steps that you do anyway. It's just where the steps lie now that makes a little bit of a difference. What I'm going to do first is cleanse, moisturize, because I did just wake up not too long ago, so I really am just starting out my morning. And I'm going to do a little bit of eye makeup. Okay, so let me go do that and I'll be right back. Okay, done. Not the best eye makeup, 5-minute eye makeup, but I wanted something on so that when I saw the foundation and I can kind of get an idea for the finish. Okay, so here is the Wayne Goss foundation method. Again, who I learned from Wayne Goss. Maybe this is a method that's already existed. In fact, I think that's his disclaimer, but this is who I learned it from, so we'll call it that. So step one is only periodic, but be sure that you're exfoliating because you want to be sure that you always have the freshest skin, that you're removing dry skin cells and all of that good stuff. So step one technically is exfoliate, but again, you don't want to do that every single day. The actual step one, which is daily, is the first thing you would do is cleanse and moisturize, which I've already done. Then step two is applying your primer. Now, I know there's a lot of really great primers that everybody's just, oh my gosh, this primer. I honestly am, and this is a little sample one that I have because I'm actually out of mine. I am such a die-hard Smashbox photo finish primer girl. I can't even tell you. I love this primer. It's almost like a soft, for lack of a better word, laminate on your skin. I know that's a weird word to use, but your skin is so soft. Everything is filled. You've got a really nice clean surface to start with. So I do use Smashbox primer. Now, as of recent, and you can see what the texture is. It's just a really awesome, almost a silicone style primer. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but that's kind of how it feels. And lately, I've been using a little half a pump of the Fenty Beauty Instant Retouch Primer with my Smashbox. So I primarily use a full pump of Smashbox. I do a little half a pump, not even a half pump, like probably a quarter pump with my full pump Smashbox primer. Now, Wayne Goss tells you not to wipe your primer on, but to rather press it in. This makes sense to me now that I'm doing this because I'm actually feeling that it's going where it needs to go. It's covering the areas that I need covered. Now, he does suggest just using this in areas that you need it in terms of, texture and pores and so forth. I believe that was his message there, but I do use my primer on my entire face. And so that's on. Now, here is where the steps get different. Normally we would be like, let's put our moisturizer, let's put our primer, let's put our foundation or our concealer first, however you guys do it. Then let's put our finishing powder and blah, blah, blah. Well, while the first makeup step is to pat in your primer completely, the next step is using your translucent finishing powder. I know. So this is very interesting. Now I use two. It's by the same company. It's the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Translucent Finishing Powders. I use the clear one for my eye area when I'm doing my concealer. Today I'm just doing the foundation trick, so I don't have any concealer on. Just take a note on that. And then I use the tinted for my face. So today, because I like more coverage and because I'm a little bit, I have olive skin, sometimes the white, which is more of a white clear finish, tends to give me a little bit of a cloudy finish, and I'm not in love with that. So I do use the tinted finishing powder, and I just kind of tap it into the lid and then tap out. And now we're gonna go over. And again, I don't have concealer on, so if you see me going under my eye, I'm just doing this for the video, but you would typically just go on your face area with your primer and where your foundation is going to sit. You don't need a lot. The Bye Bye Pores finishing powder is absolutely amazing. A little goes a long way, and it gives you a really, really nice set. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm not covering anything quite yet. Still have my little brown spotty here, got some darkness. I always have darkness over my lip and under my lip. I have a very obvious crooked nose. If I were to pull it down, you could see the bone takes a sharp right. But it is what it is. I could contour that, I suppose, but I really don't. Again, convenience girl. I do if I'm going to an event or, a gala, or I'm doing a photo shoot. Obviously, my makeup artist will do the contouring for me. I'm not really good at it, truth be told, so I don't really bother with it. Okay, so the next step is now foundation over your powder. I know, but let's see if this is really the finish that we're looking for. Because sometimes we think of, and I use cream foundations, and when you think of putting that over powder, the first thing you think of is baking a cake. Like, that gets really cakey and weird. He swears it doesn't. So I am using my It Cosmetics CC Full Coverage Correcting Cream. It is a foundation. It is for anti-aging, and it's a hydrating serum. And it also has my SPF 50. All right, so I do use a half a pump of that. And so that I'm sure to get real extreme coverage on some of these lowers, I use a quarter there at the top, Dermablend. Dermablend is one of the best face and body makeup that you could possibly ever use if you're looking to hide scars, if you're looking to hide severe blemishes, whether you're going to be wearing a strapless and you have a scar on your back, or you even have a permanent accessory, aka a tattoo, you can literally cover it, no problem. So I have both of my foundations. I'm gonna do a mix and a warm, and I actually tap it in around the circumference of my face and up on my forehead, and apparently in my hair because I didn't pull it back. Okay. All right, so that's what I do. Then I give it a soft mix in, and then I go in and buff it in. Now, I'm not using it all over my face. You can see I haven't really used a lot right here. I don't particularly like the look of that, and I like a little dewier finish here, so whatever's left on my brush, I can just go over softly without having like full product on my face. But I will say this, I do feel like there is a really creamy finish Is that the right word? But when we're talking about putting a liquid foundation over a finishing powder, as light as it is or not, this is actually a very surprising finish, and it feels really soft. It feels final. I don't feel like I'm gonna lose my color throughout the day. And yeah, looks good. Now, if you do tend to have dry skin, I have combination skin, but where I put my foundation is my very dry areas. You do not need to go back in with a finishing powder. If you don't have dry skin, then you can certainly go in and set your foundation now. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to choose not to do that. Now, normally I would have concealer. I'm not doing that just for the sake of this video, but typically I would. And now I'm going to go in with my bronzer and literally doing this over my foundation. So we're at that step now. And I do like to use a nice fat fluffy brush. And I'm just kind of going in this area right here. Not too much. So I'm really loving this foundation trick. I really, really am. I'm just going to go in with a light lip and see how we jive. And voila. So the two things missing if I were to do a full makeup is my, again, concealer and lashes. But for the most part, I think this looks pretty darn good. Thank you, Mr. Wayne Goss, you little genius, you. All right, dolls, thanks for hanging out with me again. And you know, if you do this, I do this. So I'd really appreciate it. Add me to your arsenal of boss babes here on YouTube. Lord knows I have mine, and I couldn't live without them. I'll see you next time.